What's up, guys? It's me, Levite, back here again for another episode of Sly Talk, and I'm just gonna let y'all guys know this is probably gonna be probably the third to last Sly Talk video I do. It's okay. It was always kind of planned to be this way. I'm gonna have another little mini series starting it up. I kind of did my Team Fortress 2 commentaries, then I wanted to do a Sly series, but it's okay because it's not going away forever. Like I said, I mean, if another Sly game comes out, which, might happen, might not, you'll see, a Sly Talk pick up again and such, but otherwise, I'll just leave this series. I might do one or two other videos that I've been thinking about, but I'll leave this series in case more relevant news comes out about Sly Cooper. But this is a really special episode because today I'm going to be talking about my top Sly games, so probably need to settle in. This is going to be a long one. So as we know, there are now that Sly Cooper Thieves in Time has come out, there are now 4 Sly games. Sly Cooper Thievius Raccoonus, Sly Cooper 2 Band of Thieves, Sly 3 Honor Among Thieves, and Sly Cooper Sly Cooper Thief in Time. So starting off the list, at the last spot, and by the way, guys, as I count this down, I love all Sly games. It's my all-time favorite series, really, in general, just because, I mean, I played them as a kid, and they have a large nostalgic value to them. So just know that I just prefer some games over others. And at the last spot's going to be Sly 3, Honor Among Thieves. And really, this spot kind of falls into the last, because I always kind of thought it was the dwarf of the series, kind of, because the first two, it was all about, the ancestors, Clockwork, the ancient, enemy of the Cooper clan, and Sly defeating them. And, this one was kind of a third one. It came out a year after Sly 2, I do believe, in 2005. And it was about Sly reaching the vault, the Cooper vault, which housed all of, all the goodies that his ancestors had accumulated over the years. And it played just like Sly 2. You had a hub world and you went around doing missions and jobs. But this time, instead of gathering pages or parts to Clockwork, you were gathering team members to, in the big raid or assault on the Cooper vault. Now, you might ask, why do you need to break into it? Well, it's because Dr. M, a guy who ran with Sly's dad back in the day, pretty much showed up there and started drilling, trying to get into it, bought the island, and they're trying to get in there. And the game, it was a very dynamic game because it wasn't just so, you had the 3 team members and that's all you could play as. This time you got to play as Carmelita, you got to play as, Panda King, some of Sly's old enemies, and some new faces. And it was really a joy to kind of see the series expanded on, but the story just wasn't really what I liked. And I mean, I know a lot of people might think it would have been overkill to do another game about the Thievius Raccoonus or Clockwork, but I personally would have preferred that over Sly going and doing kind of another quest on his own, not really having to do much with Clockwork or the Thievius Raccoonus, just about a bunch of money his ancestors had. But I mean, needless to say, the game was, it's a fun game. I still like to sit down and play it. And probably my all-time favorite level is probably either the biplane level or the Ancestors Gauntlet, because the Ancestors Gauntlet's cool because you actually go around to each little ancestor's setup, and you have to complete a series of trials based on the move that they put into the Thievius Raccoonus. And Sly kind of talks about them, explains them a bit more, and I just thought that was really cool. So overall, I think I could give the game, a decent rating. It'd be cool. I mean, I'd sit down and play it if I got the chance. So moving on to the next one, which is Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. This Sly game, it was the first one, so I like to put it a bit higher on my list. it was the first game, and I kind of have to nerf it a bit on my list. I can't have it so far up high because it was good. I mean, it was the introduction to the series, so you have to give it some credit of just, how good of a game it was. But I don't know, there was just, I mean, you sit down and play it, and you have like, I guess it goes up to like 10 lives or whatever, and you don't have a health bar, and it operates somewhat to the, follow-up games. You kind of have like a hub world and you go around, doing missions, but it feels very, kind of old school kind of gameplay, and there was only 5 levels, which in the new one there's only 5 levels, but, yeah, I mean, not much to say. I mean, it was a good story. The characters, were all developed well. You got to know all the characters, really, I kind of have to put this one a bit farther down because you never got to play as Bentley or Murray, so I feel like even though they were touched on a lot in there, wow, I just said that. And what I mean is, like, they were actually, Sly talked to them, they were present in all of the episodes, so you kind of, got a feel for, like, their job in the game, but the game was just, it was very centered around Sly, which is necessary, but you also have to acknowledge like that they're all part of a team, which is something I don't really think was emphasized until the later games. So this either leaves Sly 2 Band of Thieves or Sly Cooper Thieves in Time to be number 1 or number 2. So here it is. Drum roll. Number 2 goes to Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. Number 2 goes to Sly 2 Band of Thieves. Let me explain why. Starting with Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. So Thieves in Time, it just came out, and really I'm not going to elaborate on this too much because I already did a review, so go check out that review, and you'll grasp a good understanding of what I think about the game. That'd be much more easier just for you to click off the video, listen to the review, come back. But I'll just kind of talk about it here. So, Thieves in Time centers around Sly going back in time, meeting the ancestors, which is huge. I mean, meeting the ancestors is something we've been like kind of longing for, the entire game. But I mean, this is something I even said in my review. The game is short. I mean, it is. You only get to meet just kind of like a handful of the ancestors, and I'm not saying that that's bad. I mean, it had a fun gameplay and a fun experience, and the ancestors, even though they only had 1 episode each, you still got the feel of them, and it felt like you actually like got to meet them by the end of the episode, and them all coming together in the end was just really what sold it for me, and what for me made it just such an awesome game. So that's all I'm gonna kind of elaborate on for Sly Cooper Thieves in Time, and we're gonna move on to my number 1 right now, Sly 2 Band of Thieves. This game came out about 2004, and I was a kid when it came out. I'd played the first one. My friend had loaned me the first Sly Cooper, and I'd played it, and man, I thought it was awesome. Like, we all got PS2s for Christmas, all my friends, and on the street, we were all, had the PS2 craze going, and we were all playing, Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, all the fun stuff. And friend lets me borrow the first one I played. I was like, dang, this is a really good game. So I remember walking into a GameStop one day and seeing, Sly 2 Band of Thieves, and I'm like, dang, I gotta have this game. So I pick it up, go home to play it, and I mean, like, that game for me, it's more nostalgia for me on that game, because the first one, I feel like I still have kind of like that sense of nostalgia for it, but it's more for the second game, because I think the second game, I mean, it's a long game, and I mean, it's got 8 episodes, and the whole, plot is around the ancestors, but not as much as it was in the first games, and I mean, like, playing through that game is just, it really symbolizes, like, the big turn Sly took. I mean, it was no longer, you had lives and, like, horseshoes and stuff. I mean, it was a huge twist. I mean, the game seemed to just come from, like, the ground up. Hub worlds were much larger. I mean, like, there was more expansive stuff. You had more guards, like, roaming around, and it was much more funner to engage them and such. And I just really thought it brought just a new, like, era of gameplay to the Sly games. and really just kind of paved the road for any games that were going to happen in the future and what they were going to operate off of. I mean, the game had a terrific sense of characters. This was the first time we ever actually got to bring Bentley and Murray out into the field. And I mean, the cast of villains was, I mean, nothing but amazing. And I thought the game was just really just epic. I mean, you got Dimitri, who came on in the third and the fourth game, the newest one. And that was definitely a very memorable character for all Sly fans. I mean, the boss battle was amazing. And the hub worlds really brought a good sense to the game. I mean, the first one, Paris, like at the gang's hideout, and, you're pulling, a job on a nightclub, and it really made you think that, you're a part of this, gang of thieves that all work together to pull off a big job. And I think, like, I played that and I got that, grasp, that perspective, and I was like, dang, this is a really cool game. I'm really into it. And the second and third ones, the second episode where you got to dance with Carmelita was amazing. And those little cutscenes and kind of, I guess you could say, almost mini games and little different things in the story made it just an amazing game altogether. And I gotta say, the boss fight was amazing. The whole ending really just brings it all together very well. Neela, double-crossing the team, and Interpol, and just the really good plot twist. I'm not gonna just tell you everything about it. I mean, you gotta go play the game. It's an amazing game, but I just really think it had all the good elements of tone and theme and a story, even for a video game that was... I guess, looking back on it now, yeah, when I was a kid I played it, but it wasn't until I kind of started returning to the PS2 series after I got my PS2 back. I had traded it in and gotten an Xbox for a little while, and I ended up getting a PS2 and my old games back, and like sitting back down and looking at it and just thinking about just how well of a game it was. And just thinking about how much fun it is to play it, no matter how many times I can sit down and play it. And that's my own personal opinion. This whole list is my own personal opinion. And I think that game will always have a special place for me when it comes to my games library and, like, just awesome games I want to play. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Maybe it might give you a better perspective of me as a Sly fan. Look out for maybe one or another Sly Talk episode, and I'll start going into a series called Explained, where I'll kind of verge off from video games for the first time in this channel and just discuss general things, so you can kind of have a high schooler explain to you things that may be kind of shady or maybe people don't understand, and I'll do my best to dig up some research and present to you these things. That'll be kind of another mini-series. Then I have another series planned after that, which I definitely think you're going to enjoy. So, hopefully after kind of the end of the school year testing's over, I'll be able to start cranking out these series a bit better. I'll get more consistent with it, but I'll still keep content out there. So if you enjoyed this, if you want to go check out my channel, check out the videos, like, comment, subscribe. I got tons of cool stuff on my channel. I got Team Fortress stuff, Sly stuff, some music videos. Once I'm done with that other Sly Talk, hopefully I'll get you guys another Sly music video. If there's any kind of music you'd like to see or request, just tell me and I'll make it so. So I'll check y'all guys later. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.